Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 with big news. Over the past few hours, new teaser images for Chapter 5 have been released, and these pictures are official images. No leaks, no fan art, no made-up concepts. They were published directly by the Japanese Mob Entertainment account, so the source is completely reliable. These new images are very important. In fact, they are related to the prototype. The prototype is one of the most important characters in the Poppy Playtime universe, and on top of that, it is the main antagonist of the entire series. Inside these images, we can also spot what appears to be a new hidden area, an area that could play an important role in the story or be directly connected to the ARG. In this video, we will see these new images, analyzing everything carefully, trying to understand which details were placed intentionally, what may have changed compared to previous chapters, and what clues Mob Entertainment is giving us about Chapter 5. Before we jump into the analysis, as always, I ask you one quick thing. If you enjoy the video, leave a like, because it helps the channel a lot. And subscribe if you want to stay updated on Poppy Playtime. Official news, teasers, hidden details, and everything connected to the ARG. With that said, let's get started right now. Let's take a look together at these new Chapter 5 teaser images and see what secrets are truly hidden inside them. Now let's start looking at the new official images, and we begin right away with the one published by the Japanese Mob Entertainment account. I'm putting it here on screen so we can analyze it together. What you're seeing right now is, in every sense, a poster dedicated to Chapter 5. At first glance, it might look like a simple promotional poster, because in the center it announces a kind of commemorative fair, something that recalls the Playtime universe in a more official way. If we shift our attention to the left side of the poster, we immediately notice the presence of three smaller images. One of these can be almost immediately ruled out, because it's clearly connected to Chapter 1. In fact, it shows the iconic scene where Huggy Wuggy chases us in the first chapter, something everyone already knows, so nothing really new there. The other two images, however, completely change the tone. In both of them, we see the hand of the prototype grabbing a Huggy Wuggy plush, and this detail is absolutely not random. The Huggy Wuggy plush is a recurring element throughout the different chapters of the game, almost like a symbol. Every time it appears, there's usually something bigger behind it, a connection to the lore or to important story events. The fact that it's specifically the prototype's hand grabbing that plush sends a very clear message. It directly links Huggy Wuggy and the prototype, as if the two are connected in a deeper way than what we've seen so far. And this fits perfectly with what we already know. In Chapter 5, we will face Huggy Wuggy once again, this time inside the Playtime laboratories. But he won't be the only threat, because we'll also have to deal directly with the prototype. So this poster, which at first might look like just a celebratory image, is actually doing something very precise. It's preparing us for a central confrontation, both in terms of gameplay and story. Huggy Wuggy isn't just a nostalgic return, and the prototype isn't just a presence in the background. Here it really feels like the two elements are intertwined, and this could have a huge impact on the series. Now I'd say it's time to really analyze this image carefully, because the important elements are not just the obvious ones. It's easy to focus immediately on the prototype's hand and the Huggy Wuggy plush, but in reality there's much more going on here. In fact, in this image also the background is important. The background we see in this image is extremely interesting, because it doesn't match any area we've already seen in previous Poppy Playtime chapters. It doesn't feel familiar at all, and this leads us to a pretty clear conclusion. This is a brand new area of the game. At the moment, we don't have precise information about what this area actually is. We don't know if it will be a major story location, a key zone connected to the prototype, or maybe just one of the many areas we'll explore during the chapter. It could be a transition area, an experimental zone, or a space tied to the deepest parts of the Playtime labs. For now, there's only one thing we can say for sure. It's something new, and that alone makes it important. The fact that Mob Entertainment decided to show us this exact scene with this specific background is definitely not random. When they release images like this, especially ones tied to a prototype, they're always trying to communicate something. Even if we don't yet know the exact role of this area, it's still a real preview of Chapter 5, a first look at what we'll actually explore in the final game. Remember, we are officially in the final phase now. We're getting closer and closer to the release of Chapter 5, and that means one very simple thing. Over the next few days, we'll be getting more and more previews, more images, more hidden details, and very likely more direct connections to the ARG. Let's also remember that the game will be released on February 18. There are only a few days left, and Mob Entertainment has always followed this exact pattern. The closer we get to launch, the more clues, targeted teasers, and carefully placed details they start dropping, all meant to slowly build the full picture. So keep our eyes open, because in the next few days they will release something big. Now it's the time to talk about what could happen today. Today is Wednesday, February 4, and anyone who follows Poppy Playtime closely knows this very well. Wednesday is ARG Day. We have now seen a pretty clear pattern. Mob Entertainment updates the ARG every week, and they usually do it on Wednesdays. This means that today it is very likely we'll get a new important update. Not something minor, but something that could add new pieces to the puzzle. So the big question is, what kind of update could we see today? There are several possibilities. It could be the reveal of a new character, or the release of new documents, new files, and new written information that expands the Chapter 5 lore. And we know that in the latest updates, the ARG has been getting more direct and more focused. There is also a very important detail to remember. In the last few weeks, the ARG has started to show previews of a new character. A character that for now we only know for one specific detail, the Red Arm. We still haven't seen this character's face, we don't know what kind of creature it is, and we don't know what role it will have in Chapter 5. And because of this, today's update could finally be the full reveal of this character. On top of that, there is also a timing factor. Today we are exactly 2 weeks away from the game's release. This is extremely important, because it means that we are now in the final phase of the ARG. Historically, when we get this close to a chapter's release, the ARG starts to wrap up, connect everything, and reveal its most important secrets. For this reason, it is very likely that either today or next week, the ARG will end completely. And if we really are at the end, then the content released today could be some of the most important material so far. We're talking about information that could connect everything: characters, past events, the prototype, and what awaits us in Chapter 5. So let's keep our eyes open, because today is not just any Wednesday. If an ARG update drops, it could be one that truly changes how we look at Chapter 5. Now we reach the last part of the video. We analyzed the new official teaser images for Chapter 5, images published directly by the Japanese Mob Entertainment account, so they are completely reliable. We saw the poster dedicated to Chapter 5, the direct connection between Huggy Wuggy and the prototype, and especially a new area of the game that we've never seen before in the series. We also talked about the ARG, about the fact that today is Wednesday, and therefore we might see a new important update, possibly even a decisive one. With the game coming out on February 18, we are now in the final stages, which means that every new clue, every new document or character could be extremely important to understand what really awaits us in Chapter 5. If today or in the coming days the final revelation of the ARG, especially regarding the character with the red arm, comes out, then we are witnessing one of the most important moments of the entire teaser campaign. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye and see you soon.